Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How we doing? How we feeling? Yes, good afternoon to all, man. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. As you do come in, make sure to do your dog a big favor. Hit that like button for me. Smash that like button. Helps us jump out in the algorithm, so do me a favor, hit that like button. Came on today. There was just a couple things I want to talk about today. As you see the title, did Bill Belichick expose the Atlanta Falcons? As I'm sure most of you know now, 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach Bill Belichick is now the head coach of North Carolina football college team, not the Panthers. College team. Not even the SEC team. Not Vanderbilt or Alabama, Georgia, Florida. College team. So congratulations to Bill Belichick for that. It's wild how a guy who won 6 Super Bowls all of a sudden can't get a job in the NFL as a coach. That is so wild, ain't it? That is so wild. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Also gonna talk about a report that came from Jordan Schultz. He put out a report. I shouldn't even call it a report because he actually said it out his own mouth that there are some Atlanta Falcons players that he talked to that told him that Michael Penix is the best quarterback in the building or the best quarterback on the team. But we're going to go over that in a moment. We're going to let him say what he say. No, I don't want to put no words in his mouth. So we're going to let him say what he said. But, yeah, it's wild to me, man. You win all those Super Bowls, man. You're known around the NFL as the greatest defensive mind of all time, and now you can't even get a job in the NFL. Goodness. Forced to go to college. Ooh. Before I came on, I was reading a report. Now, this is a report. I think I saw it on ESPN. That Belichick even inquired to the New York Jets about their head coaching situation. Who was his, if you want to call it that, but who was his arch nemesis for years, being a Patriots coach. So I don't know. Seemed like Belichick behind the scenes, him and his team were probably doing some due diligence on what kind of chance will he have to coach in the NFL this season. And it didn't look promising. So he's like, bump it. Let's go ahead and go to coach. Go ahead and go to college, which is what he did. So interesting. I read somewhere that he burned a lot of bridges in the NFL. Which is not hard to believe. You win 6 Super Bowls, you probably gonna, have some type of arrogance built up about yourself and tell a lot of people F you, But we'll see. I do know that Bill Belichick wanted that record that Dan Shula holds. And who knows? Bill may be coaching into his 80s, man. You never know. But let's go in the chat before we get the show on the road. Sel Thomas in the building. There's only 2 people to blame, Rich McKay and Arthur Blank. I have heard that quite a bit of times myself. Dundre Trice says, until we get a new owner, I think we're doomed. Somebody else already blaming Arthur Blank. Kendra in the building. Yo, what's up, Kendra? How we doing today? How your Saturday going? Hope it's going well. Coach in the building. What's going on, Coach? So I wish people would stop talking about Rich McKay and Blank. Barring him dying, he would be your owner, period. Good point, Coach. So quit talking about him leaving. He ain't going nowhere. Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's his team. He the one spent $500 million on the team. So, like you say, Coach, he ain't going nowhere. And to be honest, man, even when Blank, steps away and no longer is the Falcons owner, I firmly believe it's gonna stay in his family. Blank got like 10 kids. So one of his sons you have seen hanging with Arthur a lot more in the last year or two. I have. Before I didn't really see Arthur have his sons with him a lot. But now it seems like one of his sons, I wish I knew his name, but I don't. I'm sure one of y'all probably do. But one of his sons started kind of shadowing Arthur. So he could be grooming his son to be the next owner of the Falcons or to be a prominent voice in the Falcons. If memory serves me correct, the last Falcons ownership, Rankin Smith, and when he passed away, rest in peace, I think the ownership was kind of split amongst his kids. And you had one of the sons who kind of was out in front, kind of the face of ownership. But I do believe it was split among his kids. And when Blank steps away, you may see a similar thing happen with his kids. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I do agree with you on that, Coach. Jay Leno said, what's up, Toddy? I like your theme music before the show starts. Appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot, Jay Leno. Yeah, definitely do appreciate that, man. Our guy, Millie Mills in the building. Millie, what's up with it, man? How you doing? What's popping? Coach says the damn Waffle House closed. We like the turkey leg hunt down in your neck of the woods, Coach. I'm sure you'll get that joke, Coach. We like the turkey leg hunt right now. We try to get our paperwork right. Oh, man. So I said, mind your business, Coach. Mind your business. B-Sox fan. What's up, B-Sox fan? I'm surprised no other team wanted Belichick like the Chargers. Yeah, I'm surprised too, bro. With all that success, shoot. Very surprised. Very surprised. He must have burnt a lot of bridges, dog. Very surprised. Brian Cornelius in the building, repping the 404. Shout out to Atlanta, Georgia in the house. Shout out to the 404. Big 404 energy in here strong today on this nice Saturday. What's up, Brian? What our brother James Holloway is in the house. What's up, James? How you doing today, bro? What's going on? We got a dog Raymond Collins in the house representing that 912. Shout out to everybody in the 912. Appreciate you coming through, Raymond. Dave in the building. What's going on, Dave? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well, my brother. Good afternoon, Toddy. If Morris loses his game on Monday night, he should be fired Tuesday morning. Sick of this man. There was a reason I wasn't that excited when they had the 3-game lead. Dave also says this is a coaching issue, period. I understand where you're coming from, Dave. I truly do, but I don't see Arthur Blank firing him if they lose. I just don't see it. I really don't. Going off Arthur's history, Arthur tends to try to be as patient as he can with his new coaches. And I don't think he's gonna do any different with Raheem. I think at minimum you're gonna see Raheem here for at least 17, 27, at least 27 games. You know, that's one full season this year and then at least 10 games next year. And I really think next year, in order for him to be fired mid-season or during the season, we would have to be doing terribly, terribly bad. Like 1-9, 2-8, something like that, 3-7. But I don't see Blake fire him after just one season. Or after our next game. And because we're gonna talk about Bill Belichick during this broadcast, and that would, if Blank were to fire Raheem at the next game, that looks bad on Arthur Blank, because people will say, "Well, see, you should have just hired Bill Belichick. You didn't even get this guy an entire year before you fired him." So I think all that will play a huge part in it. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Special owner again like Arthur Blank. That's just not the resume that he has shown thus far. Prelude Faulkner, what's going on? So what's up, Toddy? Residing in Charlotte. Shout out to Charlotte. Celebrated my 45th birthday this past Wednesday. Hey, happy belated birthday to you, man. Sagittarius in the house, Sagittarius season in the house, and we are up, we thriving. So y'all make sure to wish Prolette a happy 45th birthday, man. I hope you had a great birthday, man. Great birthday to you. Cole said not the turkey leg, huh? Yeah, the turkey leg, Coach. What the hell you know about that? And you right, it's too ghetto. I always stay home, it's just like the Waffle House. Banging on the Waffle House. Hey, Coach, I've been following that story, man. Interesting story, to say the least. I've been following that story. I've been keeping up with the divorce going on, the husband sleeping with the staff, the wife borrowing like $100,000 from one of her proteges and not paying it back. I've been keeping up with it, man. I've been keeping up with it, bro. Been keeping up with it. They got a mess going on. Hey, one fella in the building. What's going on, Tip? Just tired. What up? What's up with you, bro? Y'all make sure to also check out A1 Forever here on YouTube as well. If you're not subscribed to his channel, make sure to subscribe. Show him a bunch of love. I would say a Falcons content creator, but does a lot more than just Falcons. Falcons, Hawks, Bulldogs, a variety of different things, so make sure to show him a bunch of love. Tyreek in the building says, what's up, Tyler? What's going on, Tyreek? How you doing today? Tip offs, well, A1 Fella says, I think Rob will be here next year too. I think so too. I don't see Arthur giving up on him just after 1 year. It would make Blank look too bad. Raymond says, happy birthday to you. Coach says, Sagittarius gang in the building. When is your birthday, Coach? We gotta make sure we show our Sagittarius some love. When's your birthday? He said, appreciate it also. Dave says, Toddy, they let go to GM. What coaches are going to take this job knowing they cannot hire their own guy? And that's another combination of factors which I just don't see them letting anybody go. I really don't, man. I think they're going to get his I think they're gonna get this duo, I guess we'll call them. I think they're gonna give them another season. I don't see them. I don't see them letting anybody go. I think something real dramatic would need to happen in order for people to lose their jobs. Coach said, yeah, next time we live, I will go all into it. It's wild. It is very wild, bro. Extremely wild. Extremely wild. So y'all tell me, which story do y'all want to cover first? I got two things I want to talk about. I want to talk about Bill Belichick exposing the Atlanta Falcons, or did Bill Belichick expose the Atlanta Falcons? I also want to talk about, has Kirk Cousins lost the faith of his teammates in the locker room? There was something Jordan Shorts reported on about that. Do y'all want to talk about Kirk Cousins possibly losing the confidence of his teammates in the locker room first? Or do y'all want to cover Bill Belichick, or did Bill Belichick expose the Atlanta Falcons? So which one y'all want to step into first? All right, Coach said his birthday is on 18th. So your birthday, what, 3 days away? What's today? The 5th? What's today? The 15th? 14th. Your birthday is 4 days away. All right, so in case we're not doing a show, or if I don't get an opportunity to tell you, which I'm sure I will, but happy early birthday to you, Coach. I hope you have a good day. Drink one for your dog too, man. Wallace says, what's good with you, Todd? I'm chilling. Wallace, what's going on? He says, my birthday was on the 4th of the month. Hey, happy belated birthday to our guy Wallace checking in, man. Hope you had a great day. Yeah, man, Sagittarius strong in this thing, man. We are repping strong. Strapped Up says, us losing to the Raiders and Giants is a fireable fix. Possibly. I don't see us losing to both because I really think both of those teams are tanking. But you never know. Sometimes even them teams that are tanking, they mess up and win and throw off their team's plans. Because the front office and the coach, sometimes the coach could be instructed by the front office to sit somebody down so they can lessen their chances of winning. But a lot of times the players, they're gonna go out there and play for their contracts and their livelihood. So sometimes the tanks don't go as planned. They say he's a Sagittarius. Also, birthday was December the 12th. Happy birthday, happy belated birthday to you as well, Dave. I hope you had a fantastic day, man. Yeah, we repping Sagittarius hard in here today, man. John Kempson, Bill Belichick didn't like Terry Fontenot drafting players, so I guess we'll start with Belichick with that said. Belichick. Did Belichick expose the Falcons, y'all? Did Belichick is really expose us? Just like John Kemp said, Bill Belichick didn't like Terry Fontenot drafting of players. There was a report that recently came out that said that Bill Belichick wasn't fond, or he was bothered, or he was annoyed by Terry Fontenot's drafting strategies and his drafting idea. So let's start there. We're gonna dig into this Bill Belichick topic, but let's start there for one. So he came and he done did this 2 or 3 interviews. He got on a yacht. Because you remember at first it was just Blank and Belichick during the interview. Then it appears that things got serious. You know how it be when you go for a new job, you do the little first interview probably with a hiring person and something like that, and somebody in human resources, they'll bring you in for a second one, and then once you get to the third, you're probably gonna see the hiring manager at that point, or the manager of that department. And depending on the type of job you're going for, you may see the owner. You know what I'm saying? On that third interview, that's the only when you kind of see the shot caller. The person that gonna either push that pin higher or push that pin. Nah, we good. Reapply 6 months. So Obviously, Bill Belichick got to that point. You know what? They brought everybody in. You know, the entire staff, the entire big dogs of the Atlanta Falcons. And based on a report, Belichick was annoyed with Terry Fontenot regarding the draft. And on your screen, which I hope y'all can see pretty good, but this is a little bit of the report that came out. It says, listening to Fontenot discuss drafting systems last January as if he knew it all bothered Bill Belichick. Say it bothered him. If we continue reading, it says one reason why NFL clubs were hesitant to hire Belichick was his totalitarian style of leadership, running an organization from top to bottom his way. Reports, however, did emerge that he'd be willing to work with Fontenot and the rest of the existing staff. And I guess that's why during this we got that report that said Belichick would be willing to work with Fontenot, because it appears now that, hey, there was some kind of friction there on how Terry wanted to do things and the way Bill was going to do things. So, y'all remember we got that report that said, hey, man, Bill Belichick said he'd be willing to work with Fontenot. So, obviously it was something there. It also says, regardless of the semantics, I think it's notable that Bill Belichick, who has drafted and developed some of the best players the league has ever seen, thought Terry Fontenot was a know-it-all. So Belichick is banging on Fontenot already, and he ain't got a job yet. So it sounds like Bill Belichick thought Terry was a know-it-all, nerdy prick who doesn't have the resume to match the things he says or how he carried himself. So it don't seem like they got off to a warm reception. Fontenot probably came with his head held high. Hey, I'm the GM. I am the GM of this team. You're trying to come in as the head coach of this team. If you come here, it ain't gonna be everything your way. I'm gonna have some things my way. You're gonna have some things your way, and some things we are going to work in conjunction. And this is how I've been drafting, and this is how I plan to keep drafting, and this is why. Bill probably over there looking like, dude, I got 6 rings. What are you talking about? How many Super Bowls do you have? What have you done? You're still a kid to me, man. Yeah, I'm old enough to be your grandfather. I was winning rings when you were still in high school. Who are you to tell me about the draft? And Terry probably sitting there, he probably think, well, hell, Bill, since Brady left, you just a bad coach. Terry probably went and looked at the analytics and also thinking himself, well, hell, Bill, before you got Brady, you was a losing coach. After Brady, you were a losing coach. He also probably looked at the numbers that told him, you know what? Bill Belichick only wins 45% of his games in the NFL without Tom Brady. So Terry probably, hey, like, man, you just got lucky, bro. You got side up the GOAT, Tom Brady. Tom left you and he went the very next year and won another Super Bowl with the Bucs in this division, and he almost won another one. So Tom was carrying you, Bill. So Terry might have been banging on Belichick, man. You never know. He might have been banging on Belichick. Might have been banging on Belichick. And this report just came out. This is a new report that just came out. Tay in the building. What's going on, Tay? How we doing, brother? Tay says Kirk Cousins losing in the locker room. That's astonishing. The body language of the offensive players after the yeah, we talked about that the last show. After the interception tells it all. Yeah, exactly, Tay. We saw it on film. We did see it on film. We definitely saw it on film, man. We looked at it. So we're gonna stay on this Bill Belichick for a moment, y'all. Because when this story came out, this just came out a few days ago, right after when Bill Belichick got the North Carolina job. I'm going to show y'all a picture of somebody, right? I'm going to show y'all a picture of somebody. I'm going to show y'all a picture of somebody, and I want you to tell me, I want everybody that's watching this in the chat to tell me if you recognize this person. The person on your screen, do you recognize that person? Let me know in the chat, do you recognize the person? I'm looking at the chat. Do y'all recognize that person? Just tell me yes. Say, yeah, I recognize him. Of course I recognize him. Do we recognize this guy? Does anybody recognize this gentleman on your screen? Let me know if you recognize that guy. Yeah, because we're going to talk about this today. Dave says he is Cleveland Browns Belichick without Brady. That's the numbers. The numbers agree. Travis Preston in the building. What's going on, Travis? Travis, you are absolutely correct, sir. That is Mike Lombardi that we are looking at. Now, I'm going to scroll up on this screen a little bit just so y'all can see something. And I'm sure some of y'all already know, and some of you may not know. But let's read this caption, right? Let's read that caption. That's a very important caption, y'all. Can y'all see it? Do I need to blow it up? Does anybody got bad eyes like me? Do I need to blow it up? Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that caption? Are y'all able to read that caption? Let's read that caption together and talk about it. It says VSIN host, whatever that's short for, I don't know. Michael Lombardi leaving to join Bill Belichick at University of North Carolina. Lombardi will serve as the football program's general manager. Interesting. When I saw this news, I said, oh, this is interesting. This is interesting. So this is one of Bill's first big hires. Michael Lombardi, the football program's general manager. So when I saw this, got our boy Goat in the building. What's going on, Goat? Y'all make sure to check out also Goat on Black Cat Panthers podcast, one of my favorite podcasts that I watch every day. Him and Q and their crew, they put out some great content. It's a Panthers podcast, but bypass that part of y'all. Bypass that part of it. Them boys put in work, and they work. Goat says, go Hills, Bill. Oh, yeah, so y'all do got Bill there, man. I didn't even put two and two together for you, Goat. Yeah, so good luck to y'all, man. Y'all in the ACC, so, of course, we root for Georgia Bulldogs over here, so we ain't got no issues with Bill. Hopefully he come there and do some good things for Carolina. Let's see. Raymond Collins says the hater. But you know what? John Kipps has also said Michael Lombardi been banging on the fact. Yes. First thing came to mind when I saw this news, y'all. Like, okay. I said, now that makes sense on why he wore our ass out at the start of the year. The last time I heard from this guy, he was banging on the Falcons, just like John Kemp said. But you know what this told me? You know what this really told me? He was a close confidant of Bill Belichick, and he was speaking on behalf of Belichick unofficially. He was a confidant of Bill Belichick, and he was speaking for Belichick unofficially. So obviously, Bill wanted some details or his opinion or his perspective to get out about the Falcons and the job, the interview process. And you know, a guy at Bill Belichick's level, you can't say too much because keep in mind, Bill was still trying to get in the NFL, so you really can't start bad mouthing owners because then they really ain't gonna want to hire you. You know, and I still got a feeling Bill still wants to get back in the NFL. You know, so he's gonna go coach for however long he's gonna coach at North Carolina, but I still think he wants to come back to the NFL. So a guy in that position, you just can't start bad mouthing owners. But you know who can? Michael Lombardi. You know who can start throwing other executives under the bus that work for an NFL franchise? Michael Lombardi. He can. So I immediately, I said, you know what? Let me go revisit what Lombardi said 6 months ago. Let me go revisit that. And when you go back and you listen to it now that the dust has settled, y'all, at least my view on the situation changed a lot. Because again, once you hear Lombardi talking and just like somebody in the comments called him a hater, you realize he's speaking for Bill. He's speaking, he's saying the stuff that Bill Belichick just ain't in position to say right now. So, y'all, let's watch this again if we may.
Do it all. But there was no way anybody on any platform that I was on thought the Atlanta Falcons were a good team. I mean, this is a team that couldn't stop anybody. They lost their best defensive coach in Ryan Nielsen, who had them third in the National Football League in third down defense, fourth in red zone defense, without a pass rush, without creating any turnovers. They were 28th in the league in creating turnovers. They couldn't play at home. They couldn't stop Baker Mayfield in a 2-minute drill. They've never demonstrated that they have any physical toughness. Their best defense.
All right, now, I know he banging on us, y'all, but, you know, y'all know we're going to tell the truth over here. He said we had never demonstrated that we have any physical toughness. I tend to agree. That's been one of this team's Achilles heel for a long time. Had not been able to show that we can be a very tough and physical team. And that's a little bit of the reason. That's some of the reason, y'all, that I was so critical of Funt no drafting strategy these last 4 years too. Because we taking all these finesse offensive players and we ain't getting these cats down low in the trenches, bro. You know. And I know there is some Georgia bias with me. Because you know, I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. I know there's some Georgia bias, but another reason I ain't really like that Bijan pick, because you had a very physical, aggressive, dominant, who's shown that in high school attitude, Jalen Carter. You left him there, and you went and got the finesse player in Bijan. Again, I said I ain't gonna cry too much over spilled milk, but I mean that's real, and like players like that at that position, That's what gives your team their physicality. I think Bijan is a tough runner, but Bijan is not the player to give Atlanta a new identity one day of being a physical team. So I think we missed the golden opportunity there to reestablish our identity and get to be known as a physical team, an aggressive team, a team that's just gonna come out there and just punch you in your mouth. So I think that was a missed opportunity by the Falcons. Let's keep going.
Civil lineman Calais Campbell had 19 and a half pressures. They didn't even offer him a contract to come back. He was.
Y'all know I've been saying all year long that people don't realize what Calais Campbell brought to this team. He realized it. I've been saying it all year. You know, especially when the defense was getting heavily criticized. I'm like, look, hey, y'all, we are comparing a defense this year without Calais compared to a defense last year that had Calais. And people just don't realize how good he played for the Falcons last year on that line. Calais Campbell was balling, y'all. He realized it.
Went down to Miami. So this organization, to me, yes, I am very disappointed they didn't hire Coach Belichick. Yes, I am disappointed that they put out there that he didn't even make it to their top three. But it just shows you the level of incompetence. I mean, they give A.J. Terrell, make him the second highest paid corner in the National Football League. And by the way,
all right, now not too much on AJ, man. Not too much on AJ, bro.
Hey, just so we're aware, hadn't had an interception in 2 years.
They got 2 this year.
He can't make a play on the football.
He didn't prove that wrong.
George Pickens proved that once again on Sunday. So no one on any platform that I was on ever thought this. So I know the national media did. I understand that. And I understand that's love for Kirk Cousins, Grace. But to me, I just felt like, what do we know about Cousins? The offensive line is overrated. I know Pro Football Focus has him as a top line. That's not true. You talk to anybody in the league, everybody will tell you they can't pass block.
Offensive line overrated. What was our line rated last year? Like what? Top 4, I think. Top 5. I don't know if I would call our offensive line overrated. I don't know. But he seems to think so.
Their longest plays last year were a 61-yard screen to Jonnu Smith, a 65-yard wheel route to Bijan Robinson. They have no speed at wide receiver. They're the slowest team in the league. And now they have a quarterback, Race, who can't move. And I think his arm is suspect because he can't drive the ball with his lower body.
Can't lie, y'all. He kind of cooking right now. I can't front. I can't lie. I've said it before. We should have kept Jonnu Smith. The money that we thought we were saving, we never used. The season is pretty much over. The regular season is pretty much over. We never used the money that we cut him to save. Should have kept him. You had him at a contract where he was going to outperform that contract again. He outperformed his contract last year. We should have kept him. Now, he's saying this about Kirk Cousins, and I think this is after week 1. But he's saying Kirk Cousins can't drive the ball. He can't move. Excuse me. Oh, man. It's kind of apparent to me. Hopefully Kirk will change these next 4 games, but it does look like Kirk Cousins has lost a lot off his ball, y'all. You know, it looks like he's lost a lot off that ball. I can't do nothing but admit that. I can't sit up here and lie about that part of it.
But other than that, I love their team. And I love seeing Arthur Blank on the sidelines at the end of the game after they lose. I enjoy that. You know, he can go back to his 180-foot yacht and listen to Rich Kaiser.
There go that yacht.
Sose McKay. So I have nicknames for everybody on the Falcons. Kaiser Sose McKay is Rich McKay. Okay. I mean, I got to catch you guys up on all this because you haven't been a part of it. So just bear with.
Listen to what he just said. I got to catch you guys up on this because you haven't been a part of this. Technically, he hasn't either. But we know now that he was very plugged in with somebody who was a part of this interview process and what was going on behind the scenes. Until this interview dropped, and until he was hired by Belichick as a general manager, I did not know that him and Bill Belichick had such a close relationship. But obviously they do. He's speaking for Bill Belichick right here. He's just being Bill Belichick's mouthpiece.
With me for a second here. Kyle Sose McKay is Rich McKay, who really runs the team. He pretends he doesn't run the team. It's really brilliant. He hides behind all of it. He's been there for 22 years. He's now 2 games under 500 in his career as the general manager, CEO, executor of Arthur Blank's estate, by the way. So he's also there.
He's saying that Rich McKay is the person that really runs the team. And I know a lot of y'all have said that for a long time. Probably since I remember first coming to do YouTube videos. I remember people in the comments saying, man, this Rich McKay, he the one called the shots. It's Rich McKay. And he's saying that now. Also, shout out to Larry from the Dixon Way. I know Larry has had been saying this for a long time. Larry would always say, man, Toddy, Terry, he don't have no power. Rich McKay got all the power. Larry used to say that to me all the time. I'd be like, Larry, what the hell are you talking about, man? He ain't got no power. He the general manager. No, he's just that entitled. But Rich McKay is the one that called the shots. Terry don't have any power. And here you go, Lombardi saying it's Rich McKay that really the one that calling the shots. He's the executor of Arthur Blank's will. That's saying a lot. I can't verify that claim, but I don't know why he would volunteer something like that if he did not know that for a fact. But he also said Rich McKay is brilliant on how he does it. He hides behind things, you know. And like I say, our fans, we have been critical about the power structure at the top for a long time. There was one point where we had like about 5, 6, 7 general managers to the point you didn't know who was running the team. That shit was so confusing. I remember we had all these general managers in the building, Pioli, Dimitroff, and assistant general manager to the assistant general manager. I was like, what the fuck? I don't even know who called the shots. I don't even know who called the shots at this point. The waters were so murky at one point. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's keep going.
Terry Super Bowl winning GM Fontenot, who's never won a Super Bowl in his entire life, never been a part of building a team in his entire life. And then we have Chris Olsen, who doesn't.
Terry Fontenot. And now you got this other report coming out about kind of Terry and Bill not really, seeing eye to eye on drafting ideology. And he said Greg Olsen here, but I'm sure he meant Greg Beatles. Because I think Greg Olsen was a former tight end, right? But I'm sure he meant Greg Beatles.
Do any incentives. So I haven't nicknamed him yet, but I will. I'll come up with something there. So this organization is just basically always going to be mediocre. They're never going to win. And Blank's a wonderfully nice man who's been lied to over the course of the years because he wanted to hire the greatest coach of all time, and they all talked him out of it.
Now, this is something we did here. This guy obviously has inside information. He obviously has insider information, y'all. Obviously. So, apparently, Blank did want to hire Bill Belichick. And Blank's crew, no. no, Arthur, this is why you shouldn't hire this guy. So Arthur Blank obviously got talked out of it. That's who he really wanted to hire. Hold on, y'all. We got a super chat in the building. Rest of more coming through with the super chat. I sure appreciate that, big dog. Always appreciate the support, Russ, as always, man. You've been here. You're pretty much one of the day one OGs of ABG, man. So thank you. He says, one thing I hate is this phrase culture fit. I know what it means, but what culture lose? Come on, Russ, don't do it like that. 59 years of garbage. Damn, Russ is banging on those with that super chat. Russ said, I'm gonna send a super chat. I'm finna bang on this team. We have no culture and we need one bad. Well said, man. Rusty, well said. And like I say, I know I got a little bias in me, Rusty, but that goes back to what I was saying just a moment ago with the when we didn't draft Jalen Carter, man. I think that could have helped us establish a identity of being a physical team, which Lombardi and he was correct when he said, they're not physical. I don't know the last time I could say this was a physical team or our identity was a physical team. Even with Matt and Julio, that whole run with Matt and Julio, we still was finesse. We was not known as a physical, go bust you in your mouth type of team. The type of teams that you normally see in the AFC, to be honest, where Bill Belichick came from. We were never that. Never that. So again, thank you, Russ. I appreciate that. That was a great comment and also great analysis of the Falcons. Wallace is Toddy. He's been with Bill back in the day on the Patriots stuff. See, I didn't know that. I did not know that, man. I didn't know that they were that close. I had no idea. Coach says I reported last year. Blank wanted Bill, but the committee wanted Raheem. That's what Lombardi is saying. He said Greg Beatles, Terry Fontenot, and who he called him, Kaiser Sose McKay, talk Arthur out of it. Interesting. Very interesting.
All right, we're all caught up. Grace, take over.
No, I want to hear more about that. You know why he was talked out of hiring Belichick?
Great question, Grace, because I want to know that too.
Of course I do know why. I know everything that goes on. I haven't been sleeping at the...
I know everything that goes on. See, I missed all this. Y'all, I missed all this the first time he said it. And I watched this like 3 times when it first came out at the beginning of the year. But a lot of the stuff that he's saying, I kind of just took it as this guy just mad because we didn't hire Bill Belichick, his friend or his homeboy. He just upset, which is the case because he admits I am disappointed, but I did not know he was as plugged in to know what was really going on behind the scenes. I didn't know it. I had no idea, but obviously Bill Belichick was talking to this guy, and I firmly believe that he probably would have been hired as part of the Falcons staff if Belichick would have got the job in Atlanta.
Wheel here, Grace. I just want you to know I'm wired in this whole thing. And
I'm wired in this whole thing. Yeah, he was telling us all along, like, yeah, I know. Y'all talking to somebody who was there.
The reason he didn't get hired is because Kaiser Sose McKay would have felt threatened. Now, Kaiser Sose McKay, originally from the start, okay, this thing started about 2 weeks left to go in the season. They made an initial contact to Coach Belichick's to people. They said, hey, look, we're going to probably fire Arthur Smith. We want Bill to be the coach.
So then he's saying that we hollered at Bill before the regular season was even over. So they had, Arthur Blank. And this makes, oh man, now I'm really, the pauses really starting to come together for me now because, excuse me, y'all. Now I understand why Blake fired Arthur Smith at midnight, like as soon as the season was over. Do y'all remember that? He fired he fired Arthur Smith like at midnight, like, okay, you got to go. I got to get you out of here. So it was almost like he was signaling to Bill Belichick after just reaching out to him 2 weeks beforehand.
From that moment on, Rich McKay worked backwards to make sure that Raheem Morris got the job. That was his number one candidate all along. Now, when they made that phone call, they assured Coach Belichick's agent.
So he's saying that Raheem Morris was McKay's number one candidate all along. Whereas Blank, and it's obvious at this point, Blank obviously wanted to hire Belichick. So did Raheem become the number one candidate for McKay so McKay can still pull strings in the background? Is that what is going on? Whereas if Blank would have hired Belichick, McKay knows he can't pull any strings in the background because Bill Belichick gonna tell him to kiss my ass, get out my office. Either get out my office, I'm gonna put you out my office. So you can't do that pulling strings behind the shit with Bill Belichick. He gonna cut you out and tell you get the hell out of his office. You know. So is that what? Let's keep going.
And they assured everybody in his camp that Rich McKay was not going to be involved. That was a complete lie. Rich McKay's, Kaiser Soze McKay is always involved in everything. He's never going away. He's going to be there forever. He's going to take an afternoon jog for 5 miles every day. He's going to have an opinion on football, never uncertain, seldom right. And he's going to continue to run the team. And then Terry Fontenot teamed up with Rich McKay, Super Bowl winner that he is, to basically protect his job, to guard his desk, because they all felt threatened when he walked in the building.
So man, this is like a soap opera. So Arthur Blank seemed like he was like, fuck it, man. I'm gonna hire Bill Belichick. You know, this team needs some structure. We need some toughness. And behind the scenes, according to Lombardi, Terry and McKay joined forces to convince Blank that hiring Belichick was a bad idea. Is that what y'all get from this? That's what I'm getting from this. This is like a soap opera, man. This is really like a soap opera.
I mean, it's really hard to imagine that you just go ahead and you ignore the greatest coach of all time to then hire Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson to come.
Why are you banging on Zach Robinson? Why my man Zach Robinson caught a stray? Why are you banging on Zach?
Come in and run your program. That tells you you're stuck in mediocrity, and you're going to continue to be stuck in mediocrity for a long time. And Will Hill's right. Why would you play them to make it? Just because the national media thinks Kirk Cousins went through this transformation. He can't win a big game, but all of a sudden he puts on an Atlanta uniform. And I forgot to mention the brilliance of drafting Michael Penix. Somebody explain that to me. How does this work out? Let me add one more. The only team in the National Football League, I want you two guys to guess this, the only team in the National Football League that did not get any contributions from their rookie class in week one was, I'll wait.
Falcons.
Grace, Harrison?
Yeah, that was us. Because y'all know we complained about that on all these shows for the longest. Like, man, why we not playing our rookies, man? And I know when they finally started playing, Rook started looking good for a rookie. I like what I seen from Brandon Dorless also. But yeah, I mean that I gotta admit that was kind of weird. A 7-10 team for 3 consecutive years, getting no contributions from your rookie class for weeks into the season. Weeks. It took a while before we seen the rookies play. Yeah, JD Bertrand get some burn, but it was mostly special teams. They were really not significant snaps.
There you go, winner. You win the prize. There you go. So I don't want to hear everybody thought they were going somewhere. I don't want to hear it. It ain't happening. It ain't going to happen. They're going to come to Philadelphia. and everybody's going to say they've got such great hopes. Good luck.
Hey, we did beat Philly, Lombardi. We did. We went to Philly. We came out there with a W. May I add?
Well, that's usually what happens when you have particularly what maybe would seem the best quarterback in the division. But all of those things that you said very well.
And the sad part about it, Kirk is not even the best quarterback in the division. Still Baker Mayfield, as much as I hate to admit that. And I guess I got some friends who are Tampa Bay fans, and they get on my fucking nerves about Baker Mayfield. But, I mean, what's real is real. You know, Baker played better football than Kirk Cousins this year. I mean, the season is still not over. We still got 4 games left, but so far, Baker is the number 1 quarterback in the NFC South.
Definitely ringing true to me in terms of how I might look going forward in this division. In terms of who might win that NFC South. But Michael, with all those things being said, with all of the uncertainty and all the unhappiness with maybe how you view the running the front office, they could still very well have the best quarterback. And it's not like you need a world beater per se to win the NFC South. We saw how the Buccaneers won the division last year. Where would you, if you were a betting man, where would you put your bet to win the division?
I think Tampa Bay. I think if Tampa Bay's front goes against Atlanta, I mean, Kirk Cousins Kirk Cousins.
It's wild. You say Tampa Bay, but we just swept them. But we're still behind them in the division, man. It just like this is how much that 4-game slide has hurt us, man. We swept them, and now they still lead the division. I saw a number somewhere yesterday, or it might have been today. I think if Tampa Bay wins, this Sunday, I think they have like an 89% chance to win the division if they win. So we really need them to lose this next game. We really need them to lose.
Never really responds well to pressure. I think Dennis Allen takes a lot of crap because he's not very good ATS, but he's a really good defensive coordinator. I don't care what anybody tells me about that. He's a really good defensive coordinator. It'll be a problem for Zach Robinson to protect Kirk Cousins. Because remember, Kirk Cousins can't move. I mean, they can't.
It'll be a problem for Zach Robinson to protect Kirk Cousins. Because remember, Kirk Cousins can't move. I've seen that play out this year. I got to be honest, y'all. There was a Next Generation Stats revealed that Kirk Cousins has remained in the pocket through 13 games for 94.6% of the time. Let me please repeat that to you. Per Next Generation Stats, this season through 13 games, Kirk Cousins has remained in the pocket for 94.6% of the time. That is the second highest of all quarterbacks since 2018. So, this is Michael Lombardi saying this in week 1. He's saying this in week 1. And Kirk has really showed us he can't move. He can't maneuver in the pocket. And trust me, when we got Kirk, I didn't expect him to be, athletic and more. I didn't expect that. But I did not expect him to, quote unquote, not be able to move like Lombardi is saying. He is spot on here. He is spot on. And in my opinion, this is my personal opinion now, I do think that does handicap some of the things that Zach Robinson is able to do because his quarterback can't move. I do think that limits the things he is able to do with his playbook, in my opinion.
can't move. And we're ignoring, they have no explosive players on offense. Drake London's the 16th pick overall in the draft. It's a joke. They took Kyle Pitts over Micah Parsons. They haven't drafted a defensive lineman. They let Jalen Carter walk by. They took a running back. You would have thought people would have criticized them, but no. We
did criticize them. Trust me. We criticized that draft pick. Some people loved it, but they got heat from their own fan base, Mr. Lombardi. We didn't let that one go under the rug.
Can't criticize Super Bowl GM Terry Fontenot. I mean, they had Jalen Carter in their backyard. They don't have a 3 technique. Grady Jarrett's still their best 3 technique, and he's coming off an ACL. They drafted 2 defensive linemen in the second and third round. They couldn't even get them.
Hold on, got a super chat from Rusty. Appreciate that, Rusty. Thank you very much. Another super chat coming in from Rusty Moore. He says Lombardi is Bill Belichick's new general manager at UNC. He's tapped in. Raheem was McKay's guy. He hired Rod in 2008 in Tampa Bay. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. So that's even though I was aware of that, I never, like I said, put 2 and 2 together. He hired Raheem in 2008 in Tampa Bay. McKay and Bill had beef for years now. Dysfunctional as fuck. See, I didn't know about no beef between Rich McKay and Bill Belichick. I had no idea about that. And also the point you make, Rusty, absolutely correct. That's why I'm looking at this interview right now with Lombardi with a whole nother lens, because he at this time, even though I didn't fully know it, he was simply speaking for Bill Belichick. He's talking for Bill, because Bill can't go out here and just, give us all the dirt and give us all the news on what really happened behind the scenes, because he's Bill Belichick. He's still actively trying to find another job. So you can't go in here and just totally shit on the NFL franchise. But you know who can? Lombardi. And you know who did? Lombardi. And unfortunately for us as fans, a lot of the things that Lombardi said here, unfortunately, y'all, they played themselves out this year. Again, we still got 4 games left. We can turn the ship around, but it's hard to ignore a lot of what he said in his 10-minute blasting of this franchise. Coach with the super chat. Thank you very much, Coach. Appreciate the super chat and also the support. As always, Coach says you really need to watch that Zeno interview. It all ties into this perfectly. I'm gonna check it out, Coach. I'm definitely gonna look at it. I'm gonna try to actually look at it when I get off this live stream when I hop in the car. But as always, I appreciate the support, Coach. Same thing to you, Rusty. Thank you, gentlemen, very, very much, man. And Coach is speaking about Mark Zeno's interview. He was on I forgot what show that was. I looked at it, but Zeno was talking to somebody about, like Coach said, about something that kind of ties into this. So I'll definitely take a look at that. I'll look at it, Coach, and maybe it's something that we can talk about after during the post game show, or when we do the film on Tuesday. Todd says if Ritter balls out and beats the Falcons, who needs to be fired, boy? At that point, it's just time to start crying. we got left. It's just time to start crying. You lose to Desmond Ritter, boy. That the sports guards really hate us at that point. They showed us they hate us with 28-3, but if they let Ritter beat us, they can't stand us, bro. We need to start doing some repenting. Rest of the rules committee. Okay, all right. So they might not like some of them sanctions that were levied on the Patriots. For some of their cheating scandals. They didn't went through a couple of them, but they actually went through a few of them during the years. Well, let's see. Michael Lombardi. Let's go back here.
On the field in the first week. They couldn't get them on the field. That's how bad they are. So it's a joke. And everybody knows it in the league. Everybody loves the fact that everybody in the media wants them to keep going because, look, you don't want to foul out the worst player, the best. You don't want to foul them out. You want to keep them in their jobs. Don't say anything about them. Everybody in the South,
and that's some of what I be saying sometimes, y'all, when I be saying, don't nobody want the Falcons to win the Super Bowl, no other teams. are gonna do anything to try to help us win the Super Bowl. That's kind of what I be meaning sometimes. Like, especially when I hear people talk about trading, like we should trade and get this person, trade and get this person. But y'all really think these other teams just gonna give up quality players and not make you overpay for them? But that's what I mean. You know, nobody wants to help the Falcons win a Super Bowl. Nobody. They want to, like he said, they want to keep us at the bottom. You know, let them continue to make a fool of themselves year after year after year after year. That only increases our chances to stay on top.
Tampa's a better team, and so is New Orleans. Now, Carolina, they got their own problems. I could do a whole dissertation on those too. I mean, that's probably the worst run organization because that owner has no clue, and he continues to learn that he has no clue. He continues to double down on no.
So he throwing shots at the Panthers too. He's saying they worse than we are. And he pissed at us right now.
No clue, but we'll get to that later. Anyway.
Man, there is
Tell
so
him how
much
you
I could
really
go
feel,
from
Michael.
here.
Tell him
I
how
know,
you really
seriously.
feel.
I want to do this for a whole other block.
Harrison, if you know anything about me, I'm going to say what I think. I mean, I don't have to hold back. I don't really care. I don't have to hold back. I don't.
Okay, we'll stop right there. That's pretty much most of everything that he says right there. But yeah, he really took it to us, y'all. Took it to us hard and unfiltered, and after how everything has played out, man, it's really hard to ignore some of the things that he said, so that's a little bit the Bill Belichick Atlanta Falcons situation that kind of went on behind the scenes. One other thing that we're going to talk about, as we said, y'all, we're going to talk about has Kirk Cousins lost the support from his teammates in the locker room, or some of his teammates, or a few of his teammates. Now, Jordan Schultz, he's a national news reporter. He recently was on, what show is this? Speak, which is on Fox Sports. And he gave the indication that he has talked to some members of the Atlanta Falcons football team. And he alluded to them not being confident in Kirk Cousins anymore. But you know what? I'm going to let him tell it, and we'll talk through it. Give me just a second.
Is it time for the bench and Kirk Cousins to become acquainted?
It is, and I truly believe.
And I'll have to stop this periodically, y'all, and talk through it also in order for, YouTube not to give me a slap on the wrist for, using the content. But this is on Fox Sports 1 Speak, and this is Jordan Schultz.
The only reason that they haven't gotten to Michael Penix Jr. yet is because of optics. Because the Falcons gave Kirk Cousins $100 million guaranteed. I have had players inside that locker room tell me point blank, Michael Penix Jr. is the best quarterback in this building.
He said he's had players tell him point blank, Michael Penix Jr. is the best quarterback on this football team. Saying that he's spoken to players specifically who have told him that. And this is a guy who's has good credentials in the media who's saying this.
The fact that they still have Kirk Cousins, who has the worst QBR in the red zone, 3.3 the last 4 weeks, who leads the
the worst QBR in the red zone the last 4 weeks, 3.3? Did I hear that right? Let me go back. Did I just hear him say that?
Weeks, who leads the NFL in picks are in the red zone, 3.3. The fact that they still have Kirk Cousins, who has the worst QBR in the red zone, 3.3 the last
3.3 QBR in the red zone. Guys, it's good luck winning. If your quarterback is 3.3 in the red zone, good luck. It's gonna be tough. Man, you better have a top 3 NFL defense. Y'all better force a bunch of turnovers. You better be rushing for 250 yards per game and putting up a bunch of touchdowns running the ball. Like you just can't win like that.
4 weeks, who leads the NFL in picks 15, fumbles 12.
Picks and fumbles. Do y'all remember the last quarterback who led the NFL in interceptions and fumbles? It wasn't long ago. Matt Ryan. But he wasn't a Falcon at the time. He played for the Indianapolis Colts. And that was the year that even Matt Ryan said, you know what? It's time for me to ride into the sunset. I'm not finna sit here and be Julio Jones and try to ring chase. I know I've lost it. Father Time has caught up with me. Peace out. I'm retired. I'm about to go make stuff and I'm still gonna get paid a bunch of money to sit in these CBS studios and just talk about the game. It'll be a lot less stressful, a lot less traveling, and I can watch my kids grow. You know, so that's what sent Matt Ryan to retirement. You know, he saw it like it's over for me.
And this is a team, by the way, with really good talent. You ask anybody around this league, and they'll tell you they have great weaponry, whether it's Bijan, Pitts, London, Mooney. You go down the list.
Now, we did have Quincy Carter on the show just a day or two ago, and he relayed the same sentiment. He was like, hey, man, y'all got some talent on this team. On a scale of 1 to 10, he said he sees our talent on this team overall at a 7.5. So, not putting words in his mouth, but it was kind of like, hey, man, y'all are underwhelming based on the talent that you actually do have on this roster.
The fact that they are still with Cousins is because of optics. And when they drafted Penix, they knew that he was arguably the most pro-ready because he had played a lot of football.
Yeah.
And one more note, by the way. They play the Raiders on Monday Night Football. The Falcons do. Mm-hmm. If they lose and continue this free-for-all, they were in first place a month ago.
Yeah.
He's been the worst quarterback in the league for the last month. If the Falcons lose Monday night to the Raiders and Cousins has, let's say, 220, a pick, there is absolutely no way they cannot go to the rookie.
Is it?
All right. So that's everything that he says on that segment. So just to reiterate what he's saying, he's pretty much saying he's taught the players on his team that have told him that Michael Penix is the best quarterback on this team. If he's telling the truth, I don't know. If he's fabricating a story, I don't know. If he talked to Rook or Brandon Doyle's rookies who may not know as much as the vets, like Jake Matthews, Chris Lindstrom, I don't know. But you heard him say it out of his own mouth. So take that for what it's worth. I'm just a messenger here. I'm not saying that. Mr. Schultz is saying that. So take that for what it's worth. Let's see. Got Red Swarm in the building. What's going down, Swarm? What's up, your title? What's happening, home team? Shout out to the 478 for the home. Shout out to everybody in the 478. Middle Georgia in the house. And good luck to the Northeast Raiders on Tuesday, playing in Atlanta for a possible state championship. Go Raiders. But yeah, hey, you heard it from George Schultz. So do with that as you see fit. Another thing I want to play for you guys that kind of correlates with this is I want to play because when I hear Jordan Schultz say this, and somebody sent me something too. They say they have a friend that works at this restaurant where a bunch of Falcons players often come for dinner, and they claim that the players were saying something about Kirk while they were eating. Now that's total hearsay. So I don't know how true that is. I wouldn't actually buy into that because that's not even third party information. I'm giving you fourth party information, but you know it just kind of on par to what we're talking about right now. But let's look at Grady Jarrett. He was asked a question, which we'll play and listen to, about, hey Grady, what's going on with Kirk? How do you keep him encouraged? What's what's the temperature with yourself personally and the team with your quarterback playing so badly? That's not what the interviewer asks, but that's really what they asked. Let's listen to Grady's response and what he says and what he thinks about how Kirk Cousins is playing. Let's listen to Grady.
There isn't a whole lot in this league that you haven't seen, right, in your time in the NFL. You know, a guy like Kirk, do you pull him aside because he's also a veteran, and you say, like, you know, what do you need? How can I help? You know, what's going on? Do you have those conversations with him as two leaders of the team?
You know, two people that, you know, my story is different from his, and, you know, the things that he's asked to do, I don't know all the time. You know, in passing, you always want to send encouragement, stuff like that. But I think, you know, he's somebody who'll be self-critical of himself, do what he want to do.
Woo, I got to keep it real, but Grady, it took you a while to kind of say what you were saying there. It took you a while. Grady, I love you, but man, for whatever reason, that wasn't an easy question for you to get started on. I kind of got the vibes early, Grady, that you ain't gonna tell us everything. Grady, I'm telling you, boy, you Grady, you was fumbling, you was stumbling. You did a good job of, you know, keeping your balance, but you fumbled a little bit, Grady. Let's keep going.
But I also learned in my time in the league to, you know, certain people, you know, to go about a certain way. And I mean, he's earned the whatever for me not to have to go out the way to say something to pat him up or be there if you want to talk to him. But it's nothing like.
Ooh, boy. And if you watch this entire press conference, Grady did not become choppy. He's being choppy with his response now. He didn't become choppy until he was asked this question. You know, Grady said he's, you know, earned the reason to, you know, do whatever, you know, I kind of styled his way, you know, he's like, boy, y'all hear it yourself, man. I'm not gonna even put in the ketchup on it. I'm just let y'all listen to it.
That's not really my, you know what I'm saying? So
that's really not my, you know what I'm saying? He choppy, boy. He choppy. Woo. He didn't want to be asked this question. You know, he didn't want to be asked this.
So yeah, so we both big boys, and we got business to handle to do what we gotta do.
One of the bright spots during this losing streak, though, has.
Yeah, Grady, were you one of the players that talked to Jordan Schultz, Grady? I'm getting the vibes that you talked to Jordan Schultz, Grady. Did you talk to Schultz? Were you one of the players that he was referring to, Grady? I'm kind of getting some vibes that you might have talked to Jordan Schultz, man. Oh, man. We got that guy, Sel Thomas. What's up, Cecil? We got to light that fire off for Mr. Blank, man. We got a lot we need to do as a team. We got a lot. King Rich, what's going on, King? Says, man, F them. We got to take it. That's life. Nobody going to give you it. They do the house the same way. Yeah, it's going. You make a great point, King, and it's going to be like that for two teams who have won a Super Bowl, who have notoriously been either bad or mediocre. And I hate to say it like this, man, but that's life at the bottom. You know, you see teams who've really done it. They give the benefit of the doubt, but teams who've never done it and consistently stay down, you know, you're just not gonna get that benefit with them. And that's why it's so important to start winning. You know, that's why it's so important to start winning. King also said, I believe it. He can throw without planting his feet because he has arm strength, and he is talking about Kirk Cousins, of course. Let's see. Magic Man says Dixon Way Raid. Cheers. I appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot for y'all coming in. Shout out to the Dixon Way and Larry. Thank y'all for coming in. Shout out to Larry with the Dixon Way for bringing the raid in. We definitely do appreciate that, man. So shout out to everybody from the Dixon Way that came in. Let's see. Marlon Frank, shout out to you. Thank you. Breeze 1500, shout out to you. King Richard, shout out to you. Thank y'all for the raid. Moss came in raiding us. Hey, man, we definitely do appreciate that. And thank you to Larry and also Shonda for that raid as well, man. Thank you, gentlemen. And thank you, ladies, for coming in with the raid. Definitely appreciate it. See what else we got. John says we will know Monday night. I do agree. Clay Melton says first year unproven OC and a new head coach. Matt Ryan, 21 TDs, 16 interceptions. In 2015, next season, Matt was the MVP. So are you saying that Kirk can win MVP next year? Because if he does, hey, man, woo, Mike can get us in the Super Bowl. What's Star checking in from the eye test? What's going on, Winston? Says hit the like button. I do agree. Smash that like button, man. Hope smash that like button for us. I do appreciate it. Also, check out Winston and John here on YouTube every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. at the eye test. So make sure that you are subscribed to them here on YouTube. And speaking of Larry, there he is. Shout out to you, Larry. Y'all make sure that you are subscribed to Larry and his wife Shonda at the Dixon Way that's on your screen. Make sure that you do subscribe. That's some of the best in-game commentary you're gonna find for not only the Falcons but all sports, from football, baseball, basketball, college football, even his wife's Gators, as he always says. But Larry does a phenomenal job, and it was a privilege for me to just watch his growth as a broadcaster. And I'm gonna say broadcaster because that's really what he's doing. He's elevated past the status of YouTuber, and he's actually doing broadcasting. And he does a great job, so make sure that you show him a bunch of love. He says the Dixon way is showing love. If we lose the Ritter, everyone should be fired. Banging on everybody if we lose the Ritter. Larry, I told everybody, hey, man, we lose the Ritter, it's just time to start crying, bro. We done at that point. Swarm says, yeah, Ty the Gravy was bobbing and weaving. He was, man. He was like, oh, but he was 88 Mike Tyson, bobbing and weaving. He didn't know what to say. He didn't like the question. He didn't like nothing about it. You can kind of tell he was withholding what he really, truly want to say. Exactly, Tay. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's exactly how I answered that question. John says Grady couldn't get that out. He knows what the deal is. Exactly. Absolutely. Freddie says, when you make dumb decisions, you will get bad results. I do agree with you. I definitely do agree. Clay says, I'm saying good as Matt was back then. It was year 2 before everything could come together. You're right, Clay. You're right. This is the only difference, though. We got to put everything in their proper context. At that point, you had a Matt Ryan that was probably only 29, 30 years old. So he still had youth on his side and no major injury that he had to fight from. You got Kirk Cousins, man. He's going to be next year going, 36, 37. So we're talking about 6-7 year difference in age and coming off an injury. Matt also had that year in 2016, we just had so much that worked in our favor. And it's still such a shame that we did not finish our breakfast and win that Super Bowl. You had a young Kyle Shanahan, who was doing some of the best coaching on the offensive side of the ball that we had seen in a long time, in pursuit of a head coaching gig. You got to look at the fact you had a younger prime Julio Jones that was on the field. And even though Julio Jones wasn't catching a bunch of touchdowns, his presence alone made everybody better. So there are some stark differences there, but hey, to your point, I hope it works out the same way we go to the Super Bowl next year. But with that said, y'all, hey, I want to thank everybody for coming in. I didn't intend to stay here long. Just want to talk about those 2 stories, which we've done. So I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Y'all make sure y'all leave here. Go check out Larry at the Dixon Way. I'm actually about to go hop in the car and go check out what games that they're doing now. I think they're doing a Hawks game, if memory serves me correctly. But the Falcons will be on Monday night. Let's beat Desmond Ridder and the Raiders. The Raiders ain't trying to win anyway. So there's no reason that we should lose this game. We are playing Monday night. I'm not sure yet if I'll do the post-game show on Monday night, which in all likelihood I probably won't. So we'll probably get together on Tuesday and do the post-game show. But I'll put it up on the channel so y'all know. But with that said, I want to thank everybody for coming in. As always, man, I appreciate y'all engagement. I appreciate y'all support. And definitely do appreciate y'all time. Y'all enjoy the rest of the weekend. And be safe out there and take good care of yourself and everybody else. Gone.